All right, so we will go into Notability and do the assignment for today. Here it is, right? So I have algebra representation B, C, and then that's some work, D, and then a make your own 1 and a make your own 2. And so we will be doing, there's 5 problems here. I will do 1 of them and you guys will do 4 of them. I will do B. You know what? Let me rephrase that. You will do B, you will do D, and you will make 2 problems. I will do C right now. Okay, so we have up in the corner here, right? Up in the right-hand corner, case 1, case 2, and case 3. The first thing we're going to be doing is making a table. You're going to set your table up something like this. It's going to go from -1 to 10. These are going to be C. It's going to be case numbers, right? Corresponds to how many squares are in each case number. So I have this set up in a different page, but if you want to have a different page, because this is not that big, you'd add a page by tapping up in the right-hand corner there, that little rectangle, tapping the 3 dots on the highlighted thing and add a page, and it adds a page. Okay, awesome. So now we are going to copy our case number and we are going to put it on our page, right? So that way it's really easy to do. And then we are going to, as you can see, I've already done this once, we are going to actually make a table. So I have made a table in advance because I feel like it takes a lot of time to write all this out. So my C, that's my case number, and my S are my number of squares. I started out with 1, 2, and 3, right? Because I have it right there. So case 1 had 5, case 2 had 3, and case 3 had 1 square. So I extrapolated from that, right? Which means I figured out the pattern. It was that as the case number goes up, the number of squares goes down by 2, right? So 4 would be, what's 1 minus 2? -1, right? And 5, what's -1 minus 2 would be -3. And then I moved up here to 6 and to 7, 8, 9, and I got to 10. And in this column, they just go down by 2 in each one. So now that I figured that out, what happens when the case number gets smaller, right? Then the number of squares goes up by 2. So for 0, 5 plus 2 is 7 for -1, 9, -2, 11, and then I did -3, which is 13, okay? So this is my little table. I'm going to bring this information up to my thing. So I'm going to do that by just going -1. I'm just going to write it right over, right? -1, 0, 1, 2, 3, and then 4 and 5. So those are what I need. So 1 was 5, 3, 1, -1, -3. So 0 was 7 and -1 was 9, right? So these are my C and my S's over here. So what does C correspond to? It's your X. What does S correspond to? It's your Y. So I'm going to come over to the graph over here. And I'm going to make my x-axis straight across, and I'm going to make my y-axis straight down, or as straight as I can do it. And then I'm going to put my points on there. So at 1, I'm going to do 1 and 5 first. So 1, I went up 5, so I go over 1, and then I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 2, 3, 1, 2. So 1, 2, 3, 3, 1. And then 4 is -1, so at 4 I'm at -1, and at 5 I'm at -3. So I'm going to go back to 0. At 0, I go all the way up here to 7. And at -1, I'm at 9. So I'm going to connect my dots so I actually have a graph. So there's my graph, right? And then I come down here, and I'm going to describe the way the pattern is increasing or decreasing. So what I'm noticing is that when the case number, right, the case number increases, the number of squares decreases by 2, right? And as the case number decreases, the number of squares increases by 2. So this is going to be words. And if you want to use symbols, that's fine, as long as it's understandable. Or you can write out whole sentences. That's also fine. And then this is the beautiful part that is it's kind of complicated. We'll do some practicing later this week. We need to know what the equation is of this line up here, right? And if we go back in time, we can remember that y equals mx plus b is the slope. And that is what we're looking for, slope-intercept, right? So we know that y is going to be s, right? That's what that is. We need to figure out what m is. X is our case numbers, and then plus b. M, right? To find m, we need to know the change in y over the change in x, or y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So I did this already on a different sheet, so let's go down there. And here we go. So I brought my graph down. I just wanted you guys to be able to see it. I thought it would be easy to bring down here. So here's my graph. And then I plotted, right? So then I took 2 points of my graph. I have 0.31, which is here. And then I have 0.23, which is right there, right? So you can see that. And that's how we're going to find the slope of this line, or the m, right? M is slope. So we are going to take the change in y, or y2, which would be the second one, right? That's the one that's up high. So it's going to be 3 minus 1. And then we're going to do, right, 3 minus 1. And then we're going to do 2, because you want to make sure it's the same ordered pair that goes first, minus 3, right? That delta, all that means is like change. So 3 minus 1 is 2, and 2 minus 3 is -1. So m, right, is going to be -2 over 1, which is written easily enough, -2. So now we have to figure out this b down here. B is the y-intercept. Y-intercept means, where does my graph cross the y-axis? And it's pretty simple. It crosses the y-axis at 7. So that gives me, right, a formula of this for the line. So that's the algebraic expression for the line. And it's in slope-intercept form, which is y equals mx plus b, right? And m, where m is the change in y over the change in x. So I just checked 2 points. I wanted to check my work, make sure that I got it right, knew what I was doing, especially since I'm showing this to you. So I took this 2, 3, and I plugged it in. So I plugged the x in. So -2 times 2 plus 7. -2 times 2 is -4, plus 7 is 3. Y does equal 3, right? So that matches. And then I checked my other point. So I do -2 times 3 plus 7. -2 times 3 is -6, plus 7. That equals 1. So that is indeed actually the correct answer. So yes, y equals -2x plus 7 is the right answer. So if I come back up here to my thing and I make some room for it because I wrote a lot on there, y equals negative 2x plus 7. I would advise you to write what page number it was on. I think that was on page 9, your work, so that I can give you points for actually doing the work. I will need to actually see the work on this. And this was, I think, on page 4, my whole table, because I do want it to go from 0 to 10, right? Or I'm sorry, negative 1 to 10. So yeah, this is what we're looking at for this part. All right, so now I'm going to give you an example of kind of what I'm looking for on a make your own. So let me go down to make your own. And basically, you are going to draw me 3 pictures, right? So, like if I was going to do something like this, I'm doing circles. Okay, so I'm going to do something like that. And then that's going to be my case 1, okay? And then my case 2 is going to be like, let's say I take all I did was take this bottom one off, right? You'll see that's the missing. So that's case 2. And then let's say my case 3 is going to look something like this, right? And then what am I going to take off? Say I'm just going to take off one more, right? So I have one more there. So I just took this one away, and then I took that one away. And that's my case 3. So I'm going to do a table. My case numbers, my S. I'm just going to make you go to 5. Negative 1, 0, 1, and then I want 2, 3, 4, and 5. So this is what I want. So case 1, it looks like I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that's what I had. And then I had 1 less, right? I had 9. And then I just took away 1 more, so I have 8. So it's going down by 1, right? So if it's going down by 1, as the case number gets bigger, when the case number gets smaller, most likely it just means I'm adding 1 somewhere, right? So that would be my table. Then I'm going to graph it here. And then I'm going to come up with the expression. Do your best on the expression. Legitimately, just do your best, okay? If you get stuck, I just want you to know the explanation means more to me than anything else. Explain yourself. I'm stuck because I think that this, and then use other words to describe what you're doing. Do your best. Effort counts a lot for this particular thing. We'll be doing more of this, writing algebraic expressions from graphs for the rest of this week. All right, that's the assignment for today.